Yeah, I'll mention that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not live, it's just recorded?
I'll mention that. It's live and recorded here.
Okay.
I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Council of the Village of Chase to be held here at the village office, 826 Okanagan Avenue, and via Zoom on November 26, 2024 at 4 p.m. And the question that was just asked, this meeting is being recorded, and maybe, Mike, do you mind explaining how it's
Is
being
billing
recorded?
available for everyone right away?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so each open meeting is recorded and posted on our YouTube channel by Friday morning.
So it's not live?
And it's also live streamed on Zoom.
Okay. Does everybody have an agenda that would like to have an agenda? Would you like a? Okay, thank you. We need a number 2 adoption of agenda.
I just move, there's some amendments that have to be made on the last paragraph,
Last paragraph,
on page 39.
page 39.
Yeah.
Page 39.
Very well.
Page 39. Wait, I'm on page 39. Everybody on page 39?
Yeah, okay, it's at the bottom paragraph where it says Monday, December 25th. It should say Wednesday, December 25th.
Okay.
And it says Tuesday, it should be Thursday, December 26th. And Monday, January 1st should say Wednesday, January 1st.
Is that correct with what's up above in that chart? Not
Yes.
the short one?
Yeah,
Staff's okay with that?
so then I'll move that the agenda of the November 26th regular meeting be adopted as amended.
Okay, seconded by Councillor Stevens. Any more questions? All in favor? That's carried. Number 3, adoption of minutes, 3.1 minutes of November 5th, 2024 special meeting. Councillor Herman,
I move that the minutes of the November 5th, 2024 special meeting be adopted as presented.
seconded by Councillor Coniff. Discussion? All in favor? That's carried. 3.2 minutes of November 12th, 2024 regular meeting. Councillor Stevens,
Yeah, I move that the minutes of the November 12th, 2024 regular meeting be adopted as presented.
seconded by Councillor Torabon. Discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Do we know how many people we have on Zoom, or people? It's always interesting to know who. Okay, thank you. No public hearings. Number 5, public input on current agenda items. And I'm gonna ask the corporate officer to
Public provide input on current agenda items found under unfinished business or new business, and the total allotted time is 15 minutes to be divided between all participants. Function of council is to listen to the views of the public. And by show of hands, how many people would like to talk during the input period? 1, 2, 3. Got 3, so 5 minutes each, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So who would like to go first and just state your name and address, please?
Vic Indean.
Okay. Go ahead, you have got 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. Wondering, on the rec center down there, about the taking away the parking area that we have. Just a couple of questions, where are you gonna put the snow? Who's gonna move the snow? How often is the snow gonna be moved? And where would it be moved to? Question number 2 would be, why was some of this stuff held in camera?
And your third question?
Second, why was some of this
So
stuff?
this is not,
No, what would the meeting be, why would we be held in camera?
yeah, so this is not a back and forth, this is just
Oh, okay.
input?
Yeah, it's, okay.
Yeah.
And other than that, I'm again giving up our recreational property for any use other than for recreation.
Was that it for now, Rick?
That's it.
Okay, who else was there? 2 items.
Leanne Eleniak from 312 Brook Drive. Wondering if you guys have ever thought about reducing taxes based on the noise mitigation that's coming through with all the construction projects and the highway projects, plus the helicopters that come in and out, plus the train noise, plus. All the other stuff is great, but when we start adding on more noise compared with what we already have in town, what are you doing for us as citizens? I also asked if there was a decimal read done out from the highway, and I never received that documentation from highway or anyone on my property to know if the blasting that was going on was going to affect us in our yards, and if it was going to ruin our hearing, or potentially. So that's what I didn't get either, was a decimal readout from any company that has been here or from the city. So I'm wondering with that, how are you gonna keep us safe as a community when it comes to these jobs?
Okay, thank you. And was there anybody else?
Steffi Tim, 321 Lakeshore Drive. I think as president of the Rec Society, our position on the zoning amendment has been made quite clear, despite not having a response back to our last letter. However, I would like to talk about 9.5, the liaison appointment to the Chatham District Recreation Society. I think we can all agree that current events indicate the need for a liaison between our two groups. And I think that it would make the partnership and the partnering agreement that much stronger if there was someone on council who was a liaison and a part of our board, just so that we could share information more readily between the two groups.
Anything else, Stephanie?
That's all, thank you.
Oh, I have one other, it's just like, due to the construction that's been going on Brook Drive, we've got a lot of damage to our property, so I'm also wondering what we do about that.
Is that something staff is willing to?
Sorry.
No, don't be, no, we want people to come here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now we're sloping, like our house is starting
No,
to.
well, no,
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
she'll
so
explain something.
if I could, through Mr. Mayor, so maybe Leanne, we have some information that we can provide you, and we can also refer you to
Yeah,
people.
because I've been sending
Yeah.
emails to everyone, and it's just been, I've been stonewalled.
Okay, so if you can email us at the office here tomorrow or
Yeah.
tonight, whatever, chase@chasebc.ca will get you connected.
Perfect, thank you.
And you're welcome to get a hold of any one of us.
Oh, I've
Come down
gone
as
as far
well.
as the PM right now and emailing our government representatives because I'm tired of being stonewalled and now I'm here.
Okay, is there anybody, we haven't got down our 15 minutes, is there anybody else? Was there anybody on Zoom that was wishing to speak, do we know? No? The answer is no? Okay, thank you very much. Number 6, delegations, we have none. 7, reports. My report is November 12th, after our council meeting, I went to the Festival Society year-end meeting, and we worked, what worked this year and initial discussions on next year, we discussed. November 13th, I went to the Together Chase meeting held at the Curling Club. A draft framework for community collaboration was presented. The idea of using the Haldane Annex School appears to be on hold, and it appears there might be an opportunity to make more use out of the curling rink. One idea is to look into the feasibility of cement, concrete, I never know which one it is, under where the ice is. This would reduce power usage and allow indoor summer events usage if it's hot and smoky outside, some type of a cooling center. November 16th, I attended a Legion General meeting. November 19th, Chase Chamber meeting. November 20th, Shuswap Trail Alliance annual meeting. After that, I went to the Legion election. The new president is Paul Ozchuk. First vice president is Sue Murray. Second vice is Janice Graham. Executive is Randy Asklund. Dan McLean, Karen Ozchuk, and Mark Sam Gray. November 21st, regular TNRD meeting. And instead of me writing everything out, if you just go to their website, they have the full agendas, but they also have a condensed version on what we did or didn't do. November 22nd, I went to the TNRD Parks and Trails Committee that's been formed recently. November 26th, this morning, along with the CAO, went to a regular monthly meeting with Nisconnet Chief and Council. We discussed the watershed, fire prevention, senior housing project, Chase Country Christmas, tourism, and possible partnering opportunities. Councilor Connett.
The council meeting on November 12th and camera meeting on November 12th, and a few phone calls from people and talked to a few people on the street about different things that are on the agenda, and that's it.
Councilor Herman.
November 12th, the Village of Chase meeting. November 12th, I also attended the Festival Society meeting, so I won't repeat all what you said. November 13th, the Together Chase meeting as well at the curling rink, which was awesome. Many positive discussions took place there. November 18th, joined in the Zoom meeting of the Adams River Salmon Society meeting. As usual, I was impressed with all the work that goes on with that group behind the scenes. There's so many things going on. They reported that they had over 400 students go through in different educational aspects this fall alone. So that was good at Chuswap Park. There are also plans in the works for students of the area to build for the future by planting trees in the park from where it's burned. They're cleaning that up and getting that ready for planting this spring. The DFO also gave a report on the sockeye return this year and about the planning that has already been started for the 2026 salmon run. So, November 18th, I attended the Chasen District Chamber of Commerce meeting. Meeting was focused on ways to engage the business membership and build a stronger, more inclusive organization. Some suggestions that they are looking at are rebranding, changing the fee structure, expanding advertising opportunities, and streamlining their focus areas. And that's it.
Thank you, Councilor Stevens.
Thank you. On November 12th, I attended the regular council meeting. Following that, I attended an in-camera meeting. I met with members of the public related to multiple topics like the Encore Housing Project, economic development, and summer tourism ideas. I recently attended a webinar on critical infrastructure guidance for renewable energy infrastructure. That was really cool. That was held by the Fraser Basin Council. And I answered emails and phone calls with members of the public and council. And I just finished up reading today a report from the McDougall Creek wildfire, the wildfire in 2023 in West Kelowna, or 2023 in West Kelowna, written by the Institute of Catastrophic Loss. And I just wanted to point out just another finding here that embers accumulated to 2 additional fires that led to quite a bit of land loss, and those embers traveled 2.5 kilometers, landed, and then ignited fire, so pretty significant find there. That's all, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Torban.
November 12th, council meeting and in-camera meeting, November 13th, together Chase meeting. November 19th, attended the chamber meeting. November 20th, attended the Shuswap Trail Round Table meeting. Over and above that, review agendas, review emails, meet with staff as required, and take inquiries.
Okay, thank you. And just through the staff, do we make a motion just to receive for information? I know. Okay, would somebody like to do it? Councillor Herman?
So
Okay, seconded by Councillor Stevens. Discussion, all in favor? That's carried. Number 8, unfinished business, letter of support from Village of Chase regarding broadband service funding, and to the CAO, you have a report. Is there anything you would like to add at this time?
no, I don't think so, it's pretty self-explanatory, Mr. Mayor. Well, if I could add that this is, and I think I mentioned at the last council meeting, this is part of this whole broadband network project that we are hoping to be part of. There's a significant funding application in to the province, to the Connecting Communities BC program, and we're really hoping that we can be included in it. Turtle Valley and Chase Falkland Valley area were included in the application, but have been excluded by the province, so we're advocating on their behalf as well as our own.
Excellent. Thank you. I have a new iPhone 16 and I touched the wrong thing and my flashlight came on. I didn't know how to turn it off.
There you go, done. Your left hand.
Technology.
Go.
Now it's trying to.
It's just go like that. There you go, you're good.
Sorry about that. Okay, so there's a memo from the CAO. Councillor Herman?
Yeah, I move that a letter of support be written to Connecting Communities BC to support the inclusion of the Village of Chase, Turtle Valley, and Chase Falkland Valley in the Shuswap Economic Development Society's funding application for broadband infrastructure in the south.
Second.
Shuswap.
Do we have a seconder? Yeah. Councillor Torban, discussion. Any discussion from council? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Nine point one, and I'd just like to ask the Director of Corporate Operations if he has anything to add at this time to the report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report in council's agenda is pretty self-explanatory, but in summary, the proposed land use zoning amendment bylaw before council today is required to allow for a quasi-public multifamily residential housing for 37-unit low-income seniors project.
Okay, thank you. So we have a recommendation. Councillor Connaught?
The Village of Chase, that the Village of Chase zoning amendment bylaw 943/2024 be given first reading.
We have a seconder for that one. Councillor Torban. Discussion. Discussion?
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna come right out and say my whole stance on this whole project, if I can right now, is that okay? Yeah, so, I just want everyone to know this is a really tough decision for me. I have been involved in the Recreation Society in the past, and I have the utmost respect for the Recreation Society members at present. And, of course, you know that I'm actually pro-recreation for almost everything. Back in 2020, I was totally against this project, without a doubt, because I was on the recreation side of it. And since I've been elected as a councillor, I know now that there are a lot of other things that make our community tick and move, And housing is obviously a huge one that we need right now. I've also learned over the time that the expense of everything that we do in the village, and have realized our limited funds due to taxation. So I've really thought about it a lot, and the parking issue to me isn't a big one, because that, I go to many arenas. I'm involved in hockey, and you walk from the back of MacArthur Island all the way around to the front every single time you go in there. So that isn't a problem for me. I understand the recreational land issue, but I also understand that due to our limited taxation and that it's gonna be a long, long time before we can put anything on that mud pit or hole that is there now. And I don't actually see it in the foreseeable future unless somebody donates us $30 million or something. So I just wanna let you know that I feel that this is an addition to our town that is needed now. And I think we can look at ways to gain some more recreational land if something comes up and we have some money. And so I think I'm for this project right now, so.
Is there anybody else? Councillor Stevens?
Yeah, so, it's of my opinion that the proposal it's short-sighted and it ignores the long-term sustainability of the village of Chase. So overwhelmingly, over the last few weeks, residents and key interest groups have voiced their opposition to me through email, phone calls, meetings. I've received just 3 emails in support of the project compared to the dozens of conversations in favor. This development is fantastic for the village, but it's not being put in the right spot. There are better suited areas, in my opinion, for the project. Henry Group sold this land at a donated price. I don't believe that the idea of exploring further parking on the other side of the arena is a great idea either. We've got a pump track there, we have recreational land here. I think that when we look at the taxation, it's great. It's gonna bring in, another 11,000 plus utilities. We can collect this in other areas. And it is of my opinion that by raising taxes slightly while managing funds in a different direction can help us build recreation way sooner than later. And that's the direction that I would like to see the community focus on moving towards. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Torban?
Yeah, I've looked at this pretty closely. And it seems to me that we do have an opportunity to put affordable housing in there for seniors. And it's like anything else, if you let it go now, we'll never get it. And I think this is something that's needed. I looked at the parking down there. I've talked to lots of people about the parking. In fact, I talked to some people who said they've come down there during the game and they were still on the paved portion of the parking. So the parking down there, to me, is not an issue. Parking can be reallocated to other parts of the arena lands. I've been here for close to 65 years, maybe more than that. In the 65 years I've been here, the only thing I've ever seen on that piece of property is certainly no recreation. And there probably never will be any recreation on that piece of property. The only thing that's ever been there is a mud puddle. And at one point, there was 2 garbage bins for people to throw their garbage in. Other than that, I've never seen anything, so the parking part of it is really not an issue for me. But the fact that our seniors need a place to live, and when I look at it from the point of view that, are we trying to save a couple parking spots for the sake of somebody may or may not use those couple parking spots? Or do we have something that's affordable for our seniors to live that we don't have in Chase now? For me, I gotta look at the priority. Like, we need a senior housing, we need affordable housing for seniors that are low income. We don't have it now, we have an opportunity to get it. If we don't do it now, it may never happen. So, and it's a plus for Chase, you know, it's an asset for Chase to have something like that. I know a few people already that, you know, wanted to stay in Chase but couldn't because there wasn't an affordable place for them to live in Chase. So they had to move to Kamloops. So this is something that would really benefit, and I look at it from the point of view that 65% of the citizens in Chase are seniors. And some of them will probably want to downsize, you know, like, they're not gonna be able to look after a house forever. And this is an opportunity for our seniors to be able to downsize, to have that facility there. And to say that we are going to keep that for future recreation, so what do we do? Do we leave that property for another 65 years? And then nothing ever gets built, and then our opportunities to have something that's gonna benefit Chase is gonna be gone. And now is the time that we can get it, and it's not affecting anything but parking, potentially. So in my opinion, from all the people I've talked to, I have had no negative responses other than from the Rec Society. And most people, you know, that are in that stage of their life, you know, they look at this project as a positive project for Chase. And when I look at it, and you know, I've been elected to look after the people of Chase, this is something that's gonna look after the people of Chase, so I have to go with the majority and not the minority. And that's basically my opinion.
I just have one more thing
Councillor
to add. I really thought about it a lot, and I don't think the activities at the Rec Society or at the arena are going to change a lot. We will still have tournaments, we will still have people using the building. So I tried to think of it a bit from my point of view. I'm lucky to be able to still go and do those things. So many people are, they have the money, they can travel, they can go to a tournament, they can do things. And then here we have an opportunity to have some people who don't have those opportunities to have proper housing. And I just thought, you know, I think I have to put my privilege aside and think of the people that need that, and I think we really need it in our town, so. I'm done.
Okay, I just have a couple comments. I didn't really write too much, but I do see Henry's grandson there, and I myself knew Henry Grube very well, as my dad was Norwegian, he's Danish, and we met all the time. And I know Henry would like this, like I feel it. He would be happy that this land is being used for this purpose.
You can't talk for someone though.
Well,
They're dead,
So-
you can't talk for them.
I feel he would be happy with this use. I've done, and I think this council has promoted recreation quite heavily. We do have the curling rink, there's the little swimming pool for kids. We're pumping a lot of money into the arena. I think it's tomorrow. We budgeted $50,000 for someone to come and assess the arena to see what its capability for the next 25 years. So we're very serious about maintaining this facility. And as Vic will remember, when the arena first came in, one of the reports said, and it's the whole town, what that Councillor Herman alluded to, is finances. At that time, it said, we can't afford the arena now. We need 3,500 people in this town to make it work. And you can see this town, we're so blessed. We have so many activities, people that move here. You can't believe how many activities we have in Chase, but they're all just running, right? They're all just running. We need another 1,000 people in Chase to make this town run financially and physically. And that's been one of my mandates right since I was first on council. It's one of the reasons we brought in a corporate officer. We've been working on expanding the population in Chase. So with this with this, if this does get the blessing of council, we'll have approximately 100 units being prepared to go on the go right now. And eventually, we need to get to 3,500 to financially have this town operate properly. So it's just interesting to know that stuff. So that's what I have for now. Anybody else from council? And there's gonna be other opportunities, right? We have 3 or 4 votes here. Anybody else wanna speak right now?
Yeah.
Councilor Stevens?
Yeah, and then I'm not gonna talk on the other ones, but, like, I've thrown out a solution here that, to really take a chance and move towards some recreation. You know, I've kind of been open about that and the idea of moving budgets around and tightening up a little bit to focus on the future and the longevity of what we want Chase to look like, not where we're at the moment. And like, when I think about where we're at the moment, I think about increasing 1,000 people, what are they gonna do? So, I mean, right now, I go to Kamloops and Salmon Arm to pretty much do everything, but, yeah, I mean, I just, that's all I really have to say. I think that this land is, better suited for recreation.
Okay, thank you. So we'll put it to the vote. All in favor, the first reading? Opposed? Councilor Stevens, and would you like that recorded?
Yes, please, Mr. Mayor, and you can record it for the next 2 as well. Thank you.
And that's for here and
1, 2, 3.
to the CO and that, and the paper? Then
Sure, that's okay.
do I ask for both? Okay,
Yes, thank you.
okay, I'll ask each time too, just so.
Sure.
There's a second recommendation there.
I'll move that
Councilor
the
Torban,
Village of Chase zoning amendment bylaw, and for 324, be given second reading.
we have a seconder. Councilor Herman, discussion. No more discussion on this one? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? And Councilor Stevens, you would like it recorded
Yes, please.
and in the paper?
Yes, please. Thank you.
There's a third recommendation. Councilor Conick,
That the Village of Chase zoning amendment bylaw number 943/2024 be given the third reading.
we have a seconder. Councilor Torban, discussion. Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Councilor Stevens, and you would like that recorded
Yes,
here
please.
and in the paper?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. And one more recommendation there, Councilor Herman.
I move that the Village of Chase zoning amendment bylaw 943/2024 be adopted.
I have a seconder. Councilor Torban, discussion. Councilor Stevens.
So this is it. So, I mean, this is it. This is 60 years here and, yeah, it all comes down to what we wanna do with the land on this vote. So I really, really think that, for the future of the Village of Chase, this, land could be best suited for recreation. This project could live in other areas of the community, but that's my final little pitch to that, so.
Okay, and my,
Can
oh,
I
you
just
go ahead,
make one
yeah.
comment? I just want to, I agree with you, there are other areas in the village, none are available right now. So how long do we wait for something to become available that we can put that on? If we miss this chance now, our chances are probably slim to none of ever getting anything like that again, so. I think the time is now and we don't have a choice, unfortunately. Yeah, that.
Councilor Stevens.
Through the mayor to the CO, is there an actual, is there anything that actually states if we don't move forward with the project, we're gonna lose the project? Is there anything that exists that says that? If we don't move forward with this location, Chase is out?
Corporate officer.
Mr. Mayor, through you, Councilor Stevens. We wouldn't have that information, so the prerogatives of BC Housing and Encore Senior Society, they might know that, but we're the recipient of their application and it's being processed here, we could certainly ask.
So my words on it, just where it goes is, because I've lived here since 1965, not as long as
What does that have
some.
to do with this?
Pardon me?
What does it have to do with this? What does your past
So-
have to do with us going forward as a community?
Okay, so, thank you. And, I've seen Chase forever and ever, this isn't perfect, this, so we don't do it, and this isn't perfect, so we don't do it. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect, but as the mayor of Chase, I would like to see progress, and I would like to see things happen in this town, and but in the past, we haven't, and we've lost out on opportunities, and investors aren't coming into Chase because they see, it's not only this investment, there's other investors looking at this project, and we need more investment in this town. So I will be voting in favor of this, and any more discussion from any councilors? Okay, we'll put it to the vote, all in favor? Opposed? And you would like it recorded in the minutes and in the newspaper, Councillor Stevens?
Yes, please, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Okay, thank you. 9.2, request from the fire department, newer rescue truck purchase. There's a memo from the CAO, and I've asked the CAO if she can explain the surplus that she mentioned. CAO? CFO. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor and all the council. We have this purchase, in our 5-year financial plan to be funded next year at a value of $200,000 being funded through surplus. Because of the, fire chief being able to find something that's quite a bit less in value, we're asking the council approve it this year. We have the funds in surplus, it's just that we haven't committed them this year in 2024 for it, so.
Okay, thank you. So, there's a recommendation there. Councillor Stevens?
Yeah, I move that council approve the purchase of a 2005 F-550 in the 2024 budget year at a cost of $80,000 to be funded from the surplus, and that the existing rescue vehicle be sold by way of sealed bids as soon as it is decommissioned.
Seconder, Councillor Herman, discussion? Councillor Stevens?
So I know that like engines and other fire trucks can have lifespans on them. The truck's 20 years old, albeit it's in good condition. Are we gonna run into an issue where we're going to have to replace the truck sooner rather than later through the mayor to the CAO?
Mr. Mayor, what I'm going to actually do is have our fire chief respond. He's actually looked at the truck, sat in the truck, talked to the owner, so, fire chief, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if you, Councilor Stevens, it's only the engines that are controlled by the underwriters for insurance purposes. All the other vehicles that we have in our fleet are not regulated by any other aspects except commercial vehicle inspection.
Thank you.
That answered your question?
That's excellent.
Good question, yeah, that's good to hear. Okay. Councillor Coniff?
Yeah, Brian, being a mechanic and that, is it sound, it's good? You checked it all out?
Yes, the 4 to 6 liters did have an issue with the EGR valves. That work has already been done on that truck. So there's new head gaskets, new valve, the EGR system's been deleted, so that system is not a problem anymore, which is a big bonus for us.
Well, you're the mechanic.
And the fire.
Don't hold me to it.
Any other questions from council? Okay, all in favor? That's carried unanimously. 9.3, memo from the corporate officer. There's a recommendation there.
I'll move,
Councillor Torban.
I'll move that the Village of Chase enter into a 20-year license agreement with Fortis Energy Inc. for the purpose of installing an antenna, GPS antenna and transceiver on or near the HVAC unit on the roof at 542 Shuswap Avenue, the community hall.
Have a seconder. Councillor Stevens, discussion? All in favor? That's carried. 9.4, 2025 council remuneration. There's a memo from the chief financial officer and a recommendation. Well, I'll make the recommendation. I move the council approve the 2025 council remuneration with an increase of 2% over current remuneration. Do you have a seconder? No? Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything there? Do we need a motion to? Okay. 9.5. Liaison appointment to Chase and District Recreation Society. There's a memo from the corporate officer. There's a recommendation there. Councillor Herman.
I can move that the mayor included this request for a liaison for the Chasen District Recreation Society as part of his annual comprehensive review and allocation of council's liaison appointments.
Do you have a seconder for that one?
Yeah.
Councillor Stevens. Discussion.
Yeah, I have some discussion.
Okay.
So when someone requests a council member by name, is there a policy for that? And then how long until the next annual comprehensive review and allocation?
Is that something for staff, corporate?
Well, yes, Mr. Mayor, so this is outlined in council's procedure bylaw. So it's also in the report, section 4D of council's procedure bylaw. Says that at the first meeting in November of each year, the mayor shall make liaison appointments of council members to various external organizations. So this is an annual repeating item that the mayor is responsible for. And so that's why the recommendation has been put as such.
And for discussion,
Well, I just have a question. So at that time, is there a chance of movement between liaisons? Like
Like,
if, or
I can explain that.
changes? Yeah, I'm just curious. Because
so as the mayor, what I do every year is I meet with each councillor, just one-on-one, half an hour, as long as each councillor wants, just to get the gist of how are they feeling, on council and the pros and the cons and everything else. At that time, this comes up, right? We discuss the liaison appointments and take the information and bring it back. I'm a little late this year, but I will be doing that for council. I will be meeting each one of you. I might not be able to get it done before the next meeting, so we might not make the appointments until January, our first meeting in January. But I fully intend to meet with each of you and do a full meeting, so we all discuss where we're at and what we're happy with and what we're not happy with. And
Nice.
okay,
Yeah.
does that?
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Thank you.
So all in favor? That's carried. 9.6, Christmas holiday office closures as, do we need to have as amended or not?
No, it's already.
It's already.
Okay. Okay. Councillor Herman,
I'll move that council approves the closure of the village office to the public effective Wednesday, December 25th, 2024, reopening Thursday, January 2nd, 2025.
second of Councillor Stevens, discussion, Councillor Stevens.
Yeah, so has it always been that you work all day on Christmas Eve? And if the discussion and you're open to having half the day off, I mean, every place I've ever worked just works till noon, so, a full day, and then I know some of you don't live here, so travel on Christmas Eve and stuff like that, so just for consideration anyways.
It's a good question, and I did talk to staff. Would you like to, CAO?
Yeah,
Or
Mr. Mayor,
discussion?
through Councillor Stevens and to the rest of council. Basically, it's sort of an unwritten rule that we
Okay.
close at noon.
Excellent,
Yeah.
good enough,
On the
good,
24th, so yeah.
fantastic, thank
So-
you.
And as the CAO explained, that there'll be one or two staff that just stay to keep the office open, but anybody that wants to go at the CAO's leisure can go, but we do keep one or two people here just in case someone has to pay their taxes or, yeah. Is that?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody pays taxes over Christmas.
Is there any other discussion on this?
Before they
Councillor
shop on the
Corbett?
25th.
This is very immature.
Okay, so is that. So, all in favor? That's carried. 9.7, Chase Lions RV Park Financial Summary. There's a memo from the corporate officer, and I see the president. Are you the president now? Of the Lions RV Park is here. Now, there is a recommendation, but are there any questions from council to the Lions president at this time? Councillor
I
Herman.
have one. I just wondered about the Lions 400 Club, where that is in here, oh, it's right there, I saw it now, right there. It's the party and the payouts. Okay, that's what I was thinking was, what I wanted to know was how much it makes approximately. So, but the
And it depends on how
payouts.
many tickets.
Yes, yeah. So is the party an expensive thing? Like, is that kind of a?
There's a certain amount of money, and off the top of my head, I don't know the exact number that we're allotted that we can spend on.
Oh, okay.
Cause it's all through the gaming license.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, so
No, I was just curious, cause you guys are giving it up, and I wondered if
we
it
are,
was.
it's got nothing to do with money, it's got to do with, we just have, we need members desperately, and I mean, Rolly Phillips and Harold Lewis, I mean, they sold a lot of tickets and stuff, and Jim Bryson, but they just can't do it anymore, I mean,
Yeah.
they're aging quite
Yeah.
rapidly. So I mean, it's basically me and Karen, and so there's two people selling tickets, and this year we only sold like 100 and something, and I mean, it doesn't even, we have to sell over 200 to even make the payouts. And then we put on this party for almost 300 people, and we had 22 people show up. It's kinda like, we had a lot of food to
Yeah.
give away.
Yeah.
So we can't do it with so few members, I mean, for all the things we do in the community, it's just something, and I think $50 is becoming, it's a fairly large amount of money for some people on fixed incomes. But I've had a lot of phone calls even just today of
Yeah.
people that are sad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
again, if we get more volunteers or people willing to sell the tickets for us, we'll gladly bring it back.
I just wondered if there was any other community groups interested in taking it along. That's what I was wondering about, if anybody had approached you about it. Just my fundraising.
It's always been a
brain
Lions
on it.
thing, so I
Yeah.
don't know that the Lions would give it to someone else, like, cause I don't think we wanna keep it gone forever.
Yeah.
'Cause I think
Oh,
it
okay,
was
so it's
really-
you're just taking a break in. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. I
Yeah,
just
then we'll
wondered.
just
Yeah,
see what,
okay.
if the community really starts saying they want it, or someone's willing to step up, I mean, if the community wants these things, then they have to also be willing to join the Lions Club, right?
Yeah.
Cause we desperately need people.
Councillor
Understood.
Torban.
Yeah, I just noticed, like for revenue, the only thing you've got is the RV park, but you would have had other revenues that aren't on here?
No, cause we don't make any money. We're not for profit, so we don't make money. We have donations as we show in expenses and stuff, but we don't
Yeah.
make any other money. We show you all the donations, we get donations, but we
but
don't make money.
No, I'm thinking like particularly, like it shows an expense for the 400 club, but it doesn't show the income for the 400 club.
Oh, we've never showed, yeah, I mean, it depends how many tickets we sell, right?
Yeah.
So Councillor Torban is gonna ask the corporate officer, this report is here to do with the contract we have with the Lions Club, to do with the RV park, so these are expense. This is the money raised from the RV park, this isn't the Lions, this is not a Lions report over all their expenses and revenues, this is line item. This is all money from the RV park, this is 100% to do with the RV park money. This isn't the Lions.
Well, I do
Club.
realize that, but
Yeah.
under expenses, it shows all other expenses, so there must be incomes from those
And
different
that's
areas.
kind of what I mentioned before.
Yeah. All right, no, that's good.
Yep, any other questions from council? Sandra, thanks for
Thank you.
being a president of the Lions Club and, you know, being a member of Chase, a productive member of Chase, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, any other discussion, all in favor? That's carried. Do you have any notice of motion from council? Okay, seeing none, number 11, this is the opportunity for public to speak on municipal matters, and again, I will ask the corporate officer in this case to explain the procedure.
So you basically summed it up. It's 15 minutes where anyone in the gallery or on Zoom can speak about any municipal matter.
Okay, so is there anybody that would like to speak on any municipal matter?
Yeah, I'd just still like to know what you're gonna do with all the snow.
Okay,
I wanna know how many ambulances I can expect to have with that new, senior housing, and if I'm gonna get disruptions all night with an ambulance coming through my neighborhood, if the seniors go down in your housing complex, that might come up. Because I live right there, I'm constantly getting waken up, so do we have an estimate? Do you know? Do you have numbers? Can we look at numbers? Can you do a gap analysis? Can you do a needs assessment? Because that would be, like, for me, it's like, do I sell my house or not? Does it affect my livelihood? Can I sleep all night? That's what I wanna know. I want more numbers about things.
yeah, so those are good, and if you come in and talk, I'll let the CAO has it.
Well, I was just
It's like a gap analysis,
Just-
because you're gonna have to figure out,
that would be the best people to talk to about that would be the people that provide the ambulance services. They're aware of the increase that this will bring to our population. If you email to that email address, we can get you in touch with people that can give you that kind of information.
yeah, I think it would be nice that the public actually knows like what we are going to expect with a project like this coming into our neighborhood, right? Like, what's the percentage of Brook Drive even, like, is gonna be busier? Like, how much traffic am I gonna see a day coming in and out of Brook Drive? Like, these are numbers that I wanna know, because I live there. That's my investment, that's my life,
Yeah,
and it's hard for us, cause I feel like we are forgotten about in that community.
do you mind if I ask where you live?
312 Brook Drive,
And you're backing onto the highway?
nope. Your headlights that come out of Shepherd Drive come into my driveway, like into my front windows. So I wanna know how much headlights even are I'm gonna have to deal with. How much money do I have to put into my house to change my blinds? That's what I wanna know. Do I have to start soundproofing my house because I'm gonna have more movement over time?
If you,
That's what I wanna know.
please grab one of my cards and text me, I'm more than willing, and I think maybe the rest of the council.
And I want
is more-
numbers. I don't want excuses, I want data and numbers.
But we're more than willing to come over individually if our cards are out there, just text.
Yeah.
For myself,
But I'm wondering why this wasn't done ahead of time before this meeting. Why weren't the numbers given to us? Why us as a council didn't think about these things before we launched into this? That's what I'm wondering. Because I feel like everyone on Brook Drive just got forgotten about. That's what it really feels like. And continuously on Brook Drive, we are forgotten about, always. You know how many people I've had to tell to move out of my driveway who are construction workers? Tons. You know how much garbage is in my front yard now? Tons. Like, it's an ongoing issue. So even if we put more people within that vicinity, what can I expect as a homeowner? How many years of noise do we have to put up with the highway and that going on at the same time? How much is my house gonna shake? Now I gotta hire people to come and assess my foundation. You're not flipping that bill, I am. I'm getting ready to sell my house. And I don't know what to do anymore. I work here. My job is here. I love being here, but it's harder and harder and harder for me to wanna stay here. And all I heard today was 65 and up, 65 and up. What about the 20-year-olds? What about the 30-year-olds? What about the 40-year-olds? It's all about your good times from 65 years ago. That doesn't help the new people moving in here who want to start a life here. Every time I come here, it's like I don't belong here because I haven't been here for 65 years and I'm not a senior. It's like you're slowly pushing all of us out. That's what it feels like on Brook Drive. And I ate up a lot of time, so I'm sorry, you guys.
no, the whole purpose of this is to come, like, we're more than,
Yeah,
We want-
and this
we
is
want-
the
we want to
first
hear.
time I've been able to come here. Because in order to pay my house, I have to work 2 jobs. 2. And then I'm getting waken up at 5 a.m. from blasting. No one came by my house to fill out a form. No one sent me a needs assessment. It's getting harder and harder and harder here. And then you know what I kept hearing today? Low income, low income. Low income is not going to help us pay taxes over time. People who have jobs, who work, who want to give it into our community over time will help us. But that's all I see. Low income, low income. How many more trailer parks are you gonna build here? Because it's getting hard. And I don't know if you've ever had someone my age come in and have these concerns, but I am now concerned because I don't see myself here anymore. I don't. I don't see myself as a working professional here. I just don't anymore. And I don't know what to do about it. And that's why I came tonight, because I am really concerned. I'm concerned about my own livelihood and everybody in this town who is under the age of 65. What is there for us? Is there jobs? No. Is there housing? No, because it's all for 65 plus. You know, how many more of my friends do I have to see move out of town? Because there's nothing here for them. Tons. There's just nothing happening. And that's all I'm gonna say.
No, thank you. Please contact myself. I'd love to come over and chat. Get a hold of the CAO for questions, and I think any member of council is more than willing to come over and talk to you, because, yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming.
This is the first time it's worked, because when you're trying to juggle all that and pay your bills, it is a lot. And I don't have that extra time because I'm not 65 plus, I'm not on a fixed income, and I got bills and taxes that I have to pay at the end of the day to make sure this community runs. And that's what I do. That's my part within this community. Volunteering, helping the kids learn to read, you know? What about that? What about looking at our future? 65 plus is not our future. Those kids going to that school, that's our future here. That's what's gonna keep this community growing over time. But if you continue to slate things out for 65 plus, those kids, they're never gonna wanna stay here because there's nothing for them. And we're already facing this with the kids. There's nothing for them. They're constantly driving. And the more and more families we have driving out to Kamloops and back, think about how dangerous that is for the people on the road. Because there's nothing, I feel like there's nothing here. Oh, you wanna talk recreation? I don't do any recreation here because I can't see myself in the recreation programs here. It's hard. There's just nothing. Except I'm walking my dog on Collins yard. That's about it.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Name and address, please.
Sandra Welton, 6377 BLA Road. I just was thinking about this low-income seniors housing you're talking about. I mean, I definitely don't think that's the spot for it. But not just that, you're bringing in a seniors housing, you can't even keep doctors here. You can barely keep the D&T running. I mean, years ago, it had doctors and it ran functionally. Now, I mean, there's a line up there sometimes ridiculous. And I think it's crazy to bring in a senior center when you don't even have doctors. And we just don't have the services. So I think it's crazy that we would even entertain the idea, me personally.
Okay.
That's my spiel.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, my name is
Vic,
excuse me.
name and address, please.
I'm right
He's 65 and plus.
312 South Unis. No, my only thing was with her is, shouldn't staff be talking to the fire department and the ambulance department? Why is it up to her to go talk to them? Why does she have to bring that information?
I would hope my city would have the numbers for me because they care about the people that live here.
So I'm gonna put this through to the corporate officer, because so this is just a process. Today is this process, there's many other steps that that are gonna be followed through. Is that correct? Like, so do you mind, is it in your report? It's probably in your report. But there's many other steps. This is just one step of many to be made, including discussions with the Rec Society. There's more steps involved. Do you mind
Yeah.
saying something?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a number of steps that need to happen before this project even meets its critical path. So when I say critical path, the zoning was one of those parts. Another critical path piece is the lease. So the lease agreement's gonna come back before council. And council will have to deliberate over that and agree to enter into the lease. There's a development permit process. So the design of the building, the look and feel of the building, the streetscape, the parking, the landscaping, all those features that are laid out in our official community plan. There's a list of guidelines that council will have to review and weigh and see if it meets what council wishes that project to look like. There's also a subdivision that needs to occur. This is raising title on a new piece of land that the village will own, but for the lease and the removal of that recreation covenant have to apply to that newly raised parcel. Then there's gonna be a building permit. So there's 5 more pieces that has to happen for the conclusion.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else?
But that all happens in-house, does it not?
Most of that.
Well, I'll pass that back to the corporate officer to explain.
Yeah, most of that will come before council at a public meeting like this.
Yeah, but just with, yeah, okay.
Anything else from, was there anybody on Zoom? No? No other questions from anybody that's here? Okay. Thank you. Number 12, there's no in camera. Number 13, there's a release from in camera, and I'm just gonna ask the corporate officer to explain, because we did have an in camera meeting and we released it immediately, but the corporate officer looked at the procedure bylaw, is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, so council's procedure bylaw states that a release of in-camera item shows up on the next public agenda, so that's why it's here.
And what we released was?
All the information regarding Encore housing and sort of that package was released to the public.
Okay. Thank you. So a motion to adjourn the meeting. Councillor Herman, Councillor Coniff, any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.